Oh man, here we are in golly, it's October of 2022, and there are loan officers that are running around like, a chicken with their head cut off, or with their hair on fire. And there's others that seem to be doing okay, man. And I am here to talk with one of those loan officers today, but there is a story to this. And there is a journey to this. And that's what we're going to explore here today, right now on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, Gizmos and Gadgets and More. I'm your host, Frank Garay, and we are brought to you by, of course, the Mortgage Marketing Animals. I have with me this morning, or today, I should say, James Driscoll. What's going on, James?
Hey, Frank, how are you?
I'm doing good. Could you be in Boston, perhaps? Maybe?
Yeah, it's a little cold here.
All right. Well, we're going to get started. So interesting story here, guys. I was on MMA Call Stars and for the East Coast, and Coach Dave Brown was there. He's one of the Freedom Club coaches for Mortgage Marketing Animals in the Freedom Club. And before we kick off and start making our calls on Call Stars, we motivate, right? Myself and whatever coach happens to be there. Everybody's there. We're ready to make our calls, but still we talk about who we're going to call, what our scripting is, potential objections, how we handle those. And we even go over wins and challenges. And when we were going over wins, Coach Dave Brown said, "Hey, I've got one of my coaching guys that has this remarkable story. He's at here today. 5 months ago, he was here and he told us the story, of this little 5-month journey that you went on. And I would just like you to tell that story so everybody can hear it, because it's really an inspirational, motivational story. Before you tell the story, how long you been in the biz, Jim?"
Yeah, so I've been in the business for 29 years.
Okay, good. So this is excellent, because definitely a seasoned pro here, right? And I think that there's a lot of seasoned pros that were in the same spot you were in just a few months ago who are still there today. So I think that's why it'd be interesting to hear this. But ironically, and I brought this up on Loan Officer Breakfast Club, Jim, it's kind of like if you're brand new in the business or you've been in the business a while, we're kind of all in the same spot right now,
Definitely.
right? And we got to kind of all do the same things. Tell us the story. Tell us the story of what happened, what flipped the switch for you, and what you did, and where you are today. Now, actually, tell me what's your pipeline looking like? What are you looking to close in October or last month or next month, or where are you at right now?
Yeah, so last month we closed about 25 loans for probably about 11 or 12 million.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we had a really good month, and this month's looking okay. I mean, I think we'll close like 15 to 17 loans.
Perfect. Yeah. Excellent numbers given the circumstances today, Jim, right?
Yeah.
I mean, based on what everybody else is saying, there's a lot of people right now, 30-year vets that are going, I got one in the pipe and nothing for next month.
Yeah.
Right. So pretty notable. Okay. So take us through the journey. What was it, like 5 months ago? Something like that. I can't remember what coach.
Yeah. It was about like 6 months ago. And I went to, I think it was the event in Tampa. It was part of, you were there talking about gizmos and gadgets, and it was one of the Freedom Club events. And somebody mentioned the idea to me. It was actually Coach Rick. And he said, "Hey, Jim, have you tried this VA calling real estate agents?" And I said, "No." I said, "I haven't." I said, I said, "I don't think it's going to work in Massachusetts." I'm like, people are just going to hang up on the VA, and it's just not going to work in my market. And he's like, "Yeah, you might want to check into it." He's like, "I'm pretty sure like it's working, in a lot of different markets." So I went back home, and I called a real estate friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, John," I said, "I'm thinking about doing this thing where I have, a VA from the Philippines calling on real estate agents." I'm like, I don't think it's going to work. But what do you think?" And he's like, "Jim," he's like, "somebody like that just called me today and I booked the appointment." he's like, Jim, it's going to work. And like that was one of the things that gave me the impetus to like really just go full force and try it out. So the first step I did was I got the list from gentleman there,
Richard Smith.
Richard Smith. Yeah, so he's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll pause you real quick, just so you guys
Yeah.
know, Richard Smith, qualifiedagentlist.com. It's qualifiedagentlist.com. He's going to do all the labor to get you about 1,500 agents that are producing, at least 8 buy sides over the past 12 months, names, phone numbers, emails. It takes a couple weeks, costs a little bit of money, well worth it though. So continue, Jim. Sorry. I just want to make sure people knew that.
Yeah, 100% great, best investment we ever made.
Yeah.
And as soon as you interact with Richard and like his communication methods, like you just realize like how far behind you are.
Yeah.
Because like everything he does is like automated. It's just awesome. So we got the list from Richard, and then I spoke to the VA company. It was realestateassistant.com.
Okay.
And they really understand the program. They train their reps on objections, how to handle the calls. They even give you like samples of what the person sounds like, and as soon as you don't like them, they're like, okay, we'll replace them with someone else. So super great experience with them. Then after that, you got to make sure you get Phone Burner, which Mortgage Marketing Animals has a discount for that. You grab Calendly, which is your calendar, so that they can book appointments for you.
And now I'll pause you real quick. Just guys, so Phone Burner is an automated, it's a dialer. You can upload a list. People can call right from their headset plugged into their computer. It'll call extremely quickly. You got Power Dialer. So they dial a number. If it goes to a voicemail, they push a voicemail button and it's instantly dialing the next number. So you can really motor through some calls, or your caller can really motor through. And of course, Calendly, I think most of us know Calendly, but that lets the dialer set your appointments for you. So sorry to interrupt you, but I might do that as we go through, just to clarify for people. Because I really want to I really want to paint the picture of how this came together. So continue. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So then we got the Calendly, and literally the VA company like helps you to set all of it up. They know like technology really well. So I didn't have to know much or do much. And then I put together a presentation, just a little like 15-minute thing talking about my company. And I basically I group it up into 3 segments: marketing, the different little marketing pieces that we do, service, and then I talk about products. And then we just go through that. I usually when I get the appointment, I'll start the call, and I'll usually look the agent up and see how much business they do. And I'll just like Carl says, I'll talk about the agent, and I'll just say, I'll say, hey Frank, man, I'm like, your numbers are killing it. Like, how did you do 30 buy sides in a whole year? Like, what did that look like from like driving those people around and stuff? And then they just start talking about their business. Oh, well, and I just ask them questions like, hey, how'd you get in the business?
Yeah.
And then that'll lead to something. And, hey, where do you get your leads from? Or, where do you see the market going? So then eventually the conversation kind of dies out. Sometimes the conversation goes great, and I don't even get into my presentation. But then eventually I get in. I'll just say, hey, let me tell you a little bit about what we do, and see if we're a good fit. And then I talk about what we do, and anybody can put together a really good presentation. And at the end of the call, I kind of set them up, and I'll say, hey Frank, what are some of the things that are important to you in working with a loan officer partner? And then Frank will say, hey, I want someone that, is going to follow up on my leads, someone that's going to be a real partner with me. And I want someone that's going to be available and communicate. So then we go to the next slide, and those are the things that are on there. And I'll say, hey, Frank, man, we're going to communicate with your clients. We do the Tuesday update calls. I'm going to make sure you're on all the email communication. You said, we want to partner. We partner with all real estate agents. Whenever we pre-approve a client, we're asking for all the documentation we need, and then we do an uplift call to the listing agent to try to ensure that your offer is going to get accepted. And then I just say, hey Frank, man, we really want to work with you. I think we'd work great together. Why don't you send me your next 5 deals, and let's just see how well we work together. And then I also, I send them like a handwritten card with a little Starbucks gift card.
Mm.
And at first I just send it out as a surprise. But then I started to just initiate it in my call, and I'll say, hey, Frank, I wanted to grab coffee with you, and I know we couldn't do it on Zoom, but man, is it okay? I'm going to send you a gift card from Starbucks, and can I send it to your home or to your office? And then I just end the call and say, hey, Frank, I'm gonna text you my contact info as soon as we get off the call. I'm really looking forward to working with you. And hey, man, have a great day. And then
Awesome.
so then we end the call, and then from there, I'm sending them all my different things we do. Like we do like list reports and home bot, and all these different things that are like set it and forget it.
So when you say you're sending them this, is this, so with animals, we have a 12-week follow-up, right?
Yeah.
That we do. So we have our meeting. It went well. They're feeling great. I love the gift card thing. That was brilliant. That's fantastic, right? You're even telling them you're going to send it to them. It's just really cool. Because I know when they get that in the mail, they're going, man, that guy was pretty cool, man. That was a pretty cool dude. But so when you're saying you're giving them these other assets that you have for them, right? Is this as part of the 12-week follow-up?
Yeah, so I was finding that I was really bad at the 12-week follow-up in terms of like religiously like sending them everything. So then I just started sending them everything. So I sent them everything on that in the email, and then from there, what I do is I then put them into like a separate list, and then I follow up usually with a phone call.
Right, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say, hey Frank, and I'll find something to say. I'll say, hey Frank, did you find it? We got this new program going on. I want to tell you about it. Or I'll just say, hey, we're working this weekend. Is there anybody that we can help you with? Any buyers? Or I'll say, hey, I sent you list reports. I just want to make sure you got it and see if you've been using it. But there's like a multitude of things to talk to agents about.
Yeah.
That was one of the things we changed, was instead of like, I don't have a huge support staff. So instead of like managing that, we just like, what, here's everything, like, and then like the thing that's great about all the things we send is that it's going to drip on that real estate agent like once a week. So
that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, so we're like top of mind. So eventually, they send us a transaction.
So eventually you get the deal. So let's go through the numbers. So how many calls did the VA make? How many kept the appointment? How many started sending you some deals, which led to how many transactions? So what were the numbers over this 5 or 6 month period?
Yeah, so we had the VA. We ended up giving her a list of 1,600, and then I had access to the local MLS. So I had to log into the MLS, and I put together a list of like 4,000 agents that all throughout the whole state. So I had her put that list together, and then she started making the calls from them, and we were getting about like I was doing like 4 appointments a day.
Nice.
She booked a little over 200 appointments for me.
Okay, so stop. Breaks. So like 4 appointments a day. That's pretty good. Just real quick, so I get a little technical here. Like, when would the appointments? Did you have a time slot? Like, schedule my appointments between 1 and 3, or what was the time slot that you had?
I just gave her 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I just told her, like, try not to book like an appointment like run right after another. Like, give me like a little half-hour buffer.
Yeah. That way you can catch up on some things before the next call or whatever the case.
Or I'd be on a call and I had to run.
Gotta go.
So that was like, part of the learning experience was getting her to buffer the calls a little bit. But
so 200 appointments.
Yeah, we had over 200 appointments. One of the things that's interesting is that, of the appointments, you got to look for low numbers. So like half of the people literally wouldn't show.
Right.
Okay. And then we're call, text, emailing them, hey Frank, you weren't able to make the appointment, love to meet up with you. And then, a week later, we're calling them back, or I even would have the VA call them back and reschedule the appointment. So half of the ones we met with, literally, of the, let's say, call it 100 appointments that I met with people, only one went bad. The woman was just a jerk. So,
and I don't want to divert too long on that, really. So you had a literally one that you thought that went bad.
Yeah. I literally ended the appointment, and she says to me, "So that's all you got?" I'm like, yeah, that's all I got. So you know what, like the group says, there's one of me, there's plenty of them, there's one of
right.
me.
One of us, 1,000 of them. You can move on.
So I just moved on. So 99 appointments all went well.
Yeah.
From that, my focus 40 when I started this project was at 6.
Okay.
I had 6 real estate agents, consistently sending me business.
Okay, good. So let me pause there real quick, just so you guys know what a Focus 40 is, because some of you might be listening, not part of Marketing Animals, not part of Breakfast Club or Freedom Club. Our Focus 40 is a list that we're trying to build of referral partners, agents. We're trying to get 40 of them that give us at least one closable deal, and hopefully at least one closed deal every quarter is what we're looking for. So your list when you started was like 5 or 6?
Yeah, it was 6. So I had six
And
real estate agents in my
where are you at today?
40. So I just checked the other day. We're at 53. Yeah, so pretty cool. As I did the presentation and I got better at it, I'd noticed like agents would literally like send me business like right after the call.
Immediately. It's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's really cool too, because like, a lot of the different objections that Carl talks about, I was kind of like, I'm like, that's not going to work. Like one of the objections I love is when an agent says to me, I already have, loan officers I'm working with. I'm good. I'm all set.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like, Frank, like who wouldn't want to work with you, man?
Yeah.
Like you're like, your numbers are awesome.
Of course you do.
Yeah, and then literally, I've done it I've had that objection 3 times. I've delivered that the same way every time. And then when I do, it just turns around magically, and they say, "All right, you know what? How's next Wednesday or Thursday I can meet?"
Unbelievable.
And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I thought you just said you had a loan officer that you're happy with, and you're all set.
That changed quick.
It's the most crazy psychological mind trick. But yeah, I love that. I love when I get that objection.
Yeah. It's awesome stuff, man. So my goodness. So in the 20s last month for closed transactions. This month you're probably going to be in the 15, 17, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What's amazing is so we track everything. Okay. So we use the lead tracker. When Dave calls me on my bi-monthly call, he's asking me, hey, how many leads did you get last month? How many pre-approvals do you have? And what are you closing? And that's one of the most important things, is that we really know our business. So, in a normal month, I do about 60 leads a month. And now we're doing about 120 to 140 leads a month.
And that just shows you what the kind of lead generation you need to generate in order to have those types of closings, because it all starts with the inbound lead. A lead is a lead. It's not a closing, right? You get interesting, significant number of leads coming in to get to the point where you can close 25.
And they're all deals. Like, if I look at all my leads, like 85% of them are all real estate agents.
Oh, really? Yeah. Great. Good stuff. So let's wrap. First of all, congrats on everything. And it's really an awesome story, man. But let's end it with this. Unless you had something else you wanted to tell me real quick. Did you have something else you were looking at there?
No, the only thing, when I, probably like a few weeks ago, I was thinking, I'm like, I don't need to do call stars. Like, I got my VA making all my calls, and Dave was talking to me just the other day, and he said, hey man, why don't you do call stars with your team? Because that's now one of the things that we're doing, is that I'm now teaching my team, how to they're now getting all the VA appointments, and I'm coaching my team now how to, how to work those appointments. And we do like weekly coaching calls. And then now I'm going to start doing call stars with just my team. So we'll be on Zoom, and every Monday through Thursday, we're going to do our own little call star session, and we're going to be going through the whole DSP. So
Perfect.
Monday, daily success plan. Monday
Hmm.
will be calling our Thor's hammer. And for my group, it'll be like calling like your appointments, maybe that were no shows or whatnot.
Yeah.
So the VA will still be doing their thing. Tuesday, we're going to be doing our Tuesday update calls, calling the listing agent, the buyer's agent, the attorney, the insurance agent, the borrower, the
Love
co-borrower.
it. Love it.
Yeah. And then Wednesday, we're going to be sitting there calling our database, and then Thursday, we're going to be calling our pre-approved and looking. And that was one of the things like I neglected, making those calls.
Mm.
And I thought it was a great idea because, not only does it get my team to be, disciplined to make the calls and set that, that 1 hour a day aside, but selfishly, it also allows me to do it
Mm.
because I'm, calling myself out to the team and saying, hey, we're all going to do this. There's no
Mm.
excuses. Like
Mm.
shut down your email and turn on your cameras, and we're all making the calls.
Dude, it's going to be epic. Put your seatbelts on, bro,
Yeah,
because
no,
you're
I
going to
can't
have to
wait.
be hiring some new team members pretty soon. And that's
Yeah,
that. I'm not kidding. That's what's
yeah,
this is how guys in Freedom Club go from, 20 deals a month to 60, to 100, and wind up having along the way freedom, right?
yeah,
Because they have a team that knows exactly what they're doing. It's running like a machine, and that's essentially what it is. It's a machine
yep.
that's up
And
and
it
running.
also
So
is going to help. Like my next step is, now that I've done this for myself, I'm doing it for my team. My next step is to now start to recruit and like start to help other people to be able to do the same thing.
nice. Good,
Yeah,
good thinking. All right. So let's wrap this thing up. First of all, thank you so much. What a great, great story. And
yeah,
man, just wish you all the best success. And you're gonna do it because you're doing all the right things, that's for sure. But let me have you just say this. So somebody's listening right now, they're where you were months and months ago. Um, Point them in the right direction. What do they do? What do they do, man? What do
yeah.
they do
So
first?
yeah, so 5 steps. I mean, the thing is, like, you got to do it. Okay, if you haven't done it in the past, like, just stop what you're doing and just do it. The first thing, you get the list, you hire the VA, and then everything else will fall into place. They'll help you with phone burner, they'll help you with Calendly, put together a neat presentation that talks about, what you guys do as far as, what marketing you do, what products you offer, what your service level looks like. One of the things I'd say, I actually forgot to mention this, is that if you don't have a good product right now, meaning like if you can't close a deal right now in, let's say, 15 days, okay, then you have to analyze your processes first.
Mm,
And because I know I've been there. I was at a point where I had a terrible process, and I'd cringe if a real estate agent sent me a deal because I didn't think I could
here
close
we
it.
go again. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that, when I was at that level, and that was probably like 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done this because I couldn't do it.
You got to have the
I
back end
couldn't.
support to get it
Yeah,
through.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's your real first step, is just make sure you have a really good process. The company we're with, like, I could literally close a loan in 10 days and
Yeah.
not even have to call someone and say, hey, it's a rush.
Yeah.
Like
It just
we
goes
can,
through. Yeah.
yeah, it just goes through. So
So,
make sure you have that, and then follow those other steps. But the most important thing is to just do it. Like I'm talking to people in my company, like colleagues of mine, and they're wondering like what I'm doing, and I'm telling them like what I'm doing, and then I talk to them a month later, and I'm like, hey, did you ever call Richard Smith?
yeah.
No,
No.
I didn't. So it's like we're own worst enemies, and we just got to start it.
Give me your thoughts on Breakfast Club, MMA, Freedom Club.
Yeah, so Breakfast Club is awesome. It's a great. I'm actually on there almost every morning.
Mm.
I sometimes don't have my camera on because like my hair is like messed
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm a hat guy, dude.
Yeah, there you go. I might have to switch to a hat. I don't know how you do it being in California, but so yeah, and so I love Breakfast Club just because it keeps you engaged. It's a great way to start off your day. I really love coaching. I love the mortgage marketing animals, all the stuff that you guys have available on the website. Just as any idea has already been, you guys have already thought of it, and it's all right there.
Mm.
I love the coaching. Like I said, when I went to the event, everybody wants to help you. So like even my coach is Dave Brown,
Mm-hmm.
but even like Coach Rick, like, reached out to me, and like, he's not my coach. Like,
Right.
why
Yeah.
he didn't have to reach out to me. Like, he doesn't get an extra,
Nope.
commission or whatnot, or
Mm-mm.
whatever it is that, but like, he reached out to me, and like, and then followed up with me and called me and like, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to check in with you. Like, everybody just like cares. And it's just really part of a great group to be a part of. And there's no one's selfish. Everybody, is just sharing ideas and saying what's working in their market. And so yeah, no, it's an awesome organization, all of it.
Awesome. Jim, thanks so much for being here today. Super appreciated. Great experience, great story, great journey. Man, just really, just proud of you, and just I'm excited to see where you go. I can't wait to hear more as you progress along this path of, freedom.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's going to be an amazing story. And to be where you are today in October of 2022, I hope every originator that's listening can just sit back for a second and go, wait a second, man. I mean, wait a second. Maybe I'm not doing things right. Maybe there is a different way, and that actually works. And so with that, I would really encourage you guys, if you aren't experienced with mortgage marketing animals or the Freedom Club, I would really just at least to dip your toe in the water, join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. It's loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. You can find us on Facebook as well. There's the Loan Officer Breakfast Club Facebook group. Because if you dip your toe in the water with Breakfast Club, you're going to get a taste of the culture. You're going to get a taste of the daily success plan. You're going to get a taste of all these things that Jim was talking about. And I can assure you, number one, it'll help your business immediately. But number two, I'm betting that you'll want to progress along and go MMA Freedom Club to really get this thing going, to really get your business going. So I would encourage you to join us there at loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. With that, Jim Driscoll, thank you so much, my good friend.
Thank you, my man. Nice seeing you. I'll see you in Nashville.
That's right. I'll see you in Nashville. And for the rest of y'all that are listening, join us here again next week on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, Gizmos and Gadgets and More, with me, your host, Frank Garay, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.